It's a new day. These are good for wood right here, these sticks. I could hit it. There we go. And all the grass tufts will give you all of the stuff you need for making some sleeping bags, or later on also your clothing, your basic clothing. And you'll need some to bind some of your stuff together. So always collect all the wood you can, small stones and grass right near the beginning here until we get started. Hey, and nests are always good for feathers, and eggs. We'll need some feathers later on anyway to make a bow. So now initially when you start off, you're going to start off and you can have a little area, and this is defined as your starting area, and it should be fairly safe to wander around in this starting area. Once you start to leave that area, you're going to run into problems with zombies. So in the starting area you should be fairly safe to do your basic quests and learn a little bit about the game if you haven't played before. So what I'm doing right now is just gathering a few basic resources, and I'm going to look for some rocks here, and here's some rocks. And we just pick these up near the beginning. So we don't have anything to use to harvest rocks yet, so as many as we can find, just pick them up. So some biomes it's easier to find in. When I can say a biome, I mean like this is considered a forest biome. So it's got a lovely little forest theme going on to it. There are desert biomes, there are grasslands biomes, there are frozen biomes, which I would recommend staying out of, especially if you're in the beginning, because eventually you will start to get very, very cold and that will kill you. Some of the deserts are a little bit harder. Again, there's always a lack of water in a desert. Here we can see, and even in our starting area, we have, if we take a good look at our map, we have right here, we have a lovely pool, and if I look down the road, down the hill down there, I can actually see a lake. So there's a lake just off here somewhere. So I should have enough resources now to start doing some basic crafting. I'm just going to make sure I gather up a few more rocks. And we'll end up gathering up some more of these as we go. I never say no to a good nest. Alright, so let's go and see. Up in our top right hand corner, you're going to see craft a bedroll is our first quest. So we have to craft a bedroll and place a bedroll. So we use our B button for our backpack, and I can see the grass here, and I go to recipes, and it says bedroll. So I'm going to go craft the bedroll, and you'll see a timer down here which is telling me how long that's going to take to craft. And once it's done crafting, we're going to put it in our quick bar so we can deploy it. So there's our bedroll. We can put it down now. And this is going to be the spot where we respawn if something bad happens. So I'm just going to put it over here, off the side of the road a bit. And if it's red or something, then you can't place it there. But if it's showing up, then we can place it. We can rotate it around if we want with our left mouse button. And we're going to place it with the right mouse button. And there we go. We've completed our first quest. Next we have to build a stone axe. So again, let's go to our backpack, crafting, and here's stone axe. So it's going to tell us what we need: wood, plant fibers, and small stones. 2, 2, and 2. And we have all those already. So I'm going to go craft, and in 3 seconds we'll have our stone axe. First thing we have with our stone axe, I'm going to say I'm going to go up to the nearby rock here because we seem to be missing a few stones, and I want to gather some more rocks. So I'm going to take my stone axe and I'm going to beat against here for a little bit. While I'm doing that, I can also go into my backpack, because my next two things to craft are plant fiber shirts and pants. So plant fiber, recipes, and I can see these two. So craft a shirt, craft. I'm also going to at the same time craft a hood. So we've crafted our 2 items. Now it says I have to wear those 2 items. So if I click on it, it'll say wear. Wear. And now when I hit B to go to my backpack, you can see I'm wearing those new items of clothing and they've slotted themselves in. I could also take it from my inventory like this and drag it over if I really needed to. I'm just using a female avatar because I'd much prefer to stare at a female avatar than a male avatar. So escape to get out of here again. Let's collect a few more rocks just so we have a couple in storage. We're going to need some for later. You can see over on my lower left there's a little green icon with an eyeball. That's because I've actually crouched. I've hit the control key. When you go down, you can actually hear the sound goes down a little bit. And if that bar is at 100, there's a 100% chance that a wandering zombie can hear you. In this case, I've reduced my chance down to a 64, 65 roughly. So the lower you can make that number, the more quiet you're being and the more stealthy and the less chance you're going to get discovered. Below that, you'll see a blue bar with a little running shoe in it, and that's actually your stamina. Where your stamina is, how it's doing. I'm using it up by using this axe, obviously, but it's regenerating as we go along. Now, as long as I'm not doing anything terribly strenuous, it's going to continue to regenerate. So if I start doing stuff that's really strenuous or running and doing something, then you're going to see that drop right off. And below that is our health. So now if we look at our quick bar, you're going to see a little purple line above on the top, and that's actually our experience towards our next level. When that hits the end and it's filled right up, then we've actually completed our level. So down below that, you're going to see a green and blue line. The green is how much food we have or how hungry we are, and the blue line is telling us how thirsty we are. So now I've just broken my axe because I've used it, and it's a very primitive axe, so it wears out fairly quick. So let's look in the backpack, and I can actually click on my axe, and I can repair it. Repairing it is only going to cost me 1 small stone, as opposed to trying to build a new one, which, if I wanted to, would be 2 stone, 2 fiber, and 2 wood. So it's much better to repair at this point. So just use 1 stone, and it's repaired. All right, I'm just going to go grab some lumber now, and we'll try chopping down a tree. Our next task is to actually craft a wooden club, and we can continue to do that while we're chopping the tree down. So I'm going to hit B, look at the wood we have, recipes, and there, lo and behold, is a wooden club. So let's craft that, and that was almost immediately done, so we can put that here. I'm just going to move some of the things out of my quick bar that I don't really need there. And what you're going to see is I have my club, my stone axe, and I've got a torch there because I want to keep it there too. And we have 1 little bandage, which will help us if we run into trouble. So let's continue to chop this tree down. You can see the health of the tree slowly dropping. The better your tool, the quicker this will happen, and also the more your skills are, the better your resource gathering will be, which you see on the lower right. Always make sure to take a tree right down to the bottom, because if you leave it at, let's say, 10 or 20, you're missing a large chunk of the wood or whatever you're going to get, or the stone if it's a stone. Oh, you see a bunny running across up there. We have nothing to get him with, so we're supposed to craft a primitive bow now and 1 arrow. So let's go to our wood again. So recipes, primitive bow. So craft, because we needed 3 plant fibers and 8 wood. And now we're going to do some arrows. So each arrow is going to take us 1 small stone, 1 piece of wood, and then 1 feather. So our limiting factor is probably going to be our feathers here. We only have 15. So I could just say craft, and that would fulfill our requirements. But I want to build a couple more, so I'm going to go max and craft those. And those will all appear then in my backpack where I need them. When we chop the tree down, we also got something called seeds. It'll be depending on the species of tree you're chopping down, what you get, and that can again be used to repopulate trees in nature. So if I cut down a really big tree, I get 2 seeds, And if I cut down smaller trees, then I only get one seed. So it's a good way to start keeping the trees in the area, and you won't run out that way. And it actually encourages you to plant a little bit more than you're harvesting. So what are we up to right now? We have to create a wood frame block, place the block, and then upgrade it. So upgrading is going to require our axe, and making it is going to require wood. So let's go back to our backpack. So recipes again, and there's our wood frame block. I'm going to make a couple more because I like to have a few of these on hand. You see they're just, they whip right through those. And I still have some wood in my inventory, which I'm going to need to upgrade the block. So let's take our wood, and I'm going to place it fairly close to my sleeping bag so I know where I left my sleeping bag. So I've placed it. Now I go back to my axe, and instead of left clicking, which would destroy it, I'm going to right click on it. There we go. We've upgraded it. I can upgrade it once more to get to this shape. Okay, now I have to build and place a campfire. So that's where all these rocks come in. Recipe, campfire, craft. And let's place our campfire. There we go. Now we have to locate our trader. It's telling us that it's 457 meters away. So if we look at our map, scroll a little bit, we can see where that's going to be. So I am going to place a quick waypoint there. So I've right clicked, and then I clicked quick waypoint, and that gives me a little red marker. Now that red marker is going to show up on my heads up display. So when I look around, there is the red marker. It's also the marker for the objective, but I like to have the red marker because it's a little easier to see. Now if we start heading off in that direction, we will be leaving our safe zone for sure. So we have some things to decide to do. Pick up my bedroll. I'll leave that there. I'm going to put my bedroll in my quick part just in case we're in any trouble. I can quickly drop it. So let's actually see what our world is like out here. I'm going to switch my club. And we have garbage lying around. We can always check the garbage. In the beginning there's going to be a lot of things we don't need, but I'll start to collect things until I get to a certain point. And then I will, start to look through what I actually need and don't need. And we should always pick up some rocks if we see them, because they're always handy. Fire station. Those are always nice to live in. Have to remember that. More importantly, there's a car here we can take a look at. It's got some cloth and wood, so I will take everything. You can see it's 9 in the morning, which is good, because if it were later in the day, we would definitely want to be looking for someplace a little safer already. But since we have some time here, ooh, first of our unruly neighbors. The businessman, he's not very pretty looking. Let's see if we can club him to death. Oh, that was more effective than we thought it would be. That was just a one shot and took his head off. That doesn't normally happen. Normally you have to hit them a few times. So we got exceedingly lucky there. And as we can see, the distance is winding down for our distance to the trader. We'll come back and explore some more of this later. We just want to get to the trader right now and complete our quest line, and then that'll solve a lot of our issues. We have a young man coming down the street here. Seems to be making some trouble. Let's see if we can't have him join the club. Always back up when you're hitting him with the club. because you don't want them to hit you. It's perfectly acceptable to hit somebody while they're down. There we see typically how long it would take you to get some more. Again, a good thing to do because we wanted to get some experience. And there's a trader, and he's open. They only open at generally 7 o'clock in the morning and that, so you do have to be careful. We can actually examine the trader here and see what he's got. He's got a cement mixer that seems to be working. Oh. Oh, look. A level 2 axe. Isn't that a little treat for us? So that's a destroyed workbench, so that won't work anymore, but the cement mixer is up and running, it seems. I'll always gather up a few things. And maybe, just maybe, we can actually sell to the trader, because he's not the brightest guy around. Ooh, and a book. Always read the books. So, party starter. You'd like to start the party with a bang. Targets with full health take 20% more damage. Well, that's a good one.
How about I empty your pockets?
And this is not one of the friendly traders. So I'm going to call it right about here. Since we've completed all of our major quest line, you will hear some nasty banging going on. That's the zombies on the outside who obviously want to get in, and we'll deal with those shortly. So for now, I'm going to call it here, and we'll take it up again in the next episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and ding my bell.